pop world, it's been introduced, and it's been basically overcome by the pop industry. And so now they've done that with hip hop, is that they're pushing that agenda through hip hop music, you know what I mean? The same materialistic and false ideology, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But as far as dubstep goes, I mean, I'm not a huge fan myself. I don't see how that's really, like, I don't know, it's much easier to make than most other forms of music, obviously, in my opinion. I mean, try picking up a guitar, you know what I mean? Even myself, if I try to pick up a guitar, I know what to do a little bit, but you know what I mean? I'm not exactly a guitarist, you know what I mean? So, but as far as dubstep goes, I think, just personal opinion, if people would start to recite poetry or like rap over it, you know what I mean? But like fast, not like the way it is now with like your Rick Ross rapping super slow over a fast beat. I'm talking like the way the UK does it. They have a form of music called grime, which is basically that. It's those heavy, bassy type beats with, you know, fast rhyming over it. And I think that's something we should introduce over here, but more on a hard scale, more on a, like, you know, you give your 110% effort, because what I'm hearing now, when I hear most rappers now, I just start to doze off, because I'm just like, you're doing what everybody else is doing. That's why you're trying to fit in, but don't try to fit in. Try to stand out. Try to do you. That's my whole point. Like, you know, anyways, as far as like that whole pop music and stuff goes, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that we could do without it.
Yeah, totally. Now for a short-term, you know, goals or whatever. So I'm just curious. I have two questions actually. So what's going on right now? Like, well, what's your, you know, short-term goal that you have going on right now?
Short-term goals.
Yeah.
In about 3 weeks, September 8th, my first solo, I guess you can call it an LP, because it's all original. It's all original production. It's all real music. It's all got a message. It's called This Is For You. It's my first solo LP or mixtape or whatever you want to call it. I'm giving it out for free. It'll be online as of September 8th. And also, we're throwing a show on the same day, September 8th, at Mika Lounge on Crescent, 1186 Crescent, right next to Mad Hatter's. It's a little basement spot. It's a nice little place, but it's going to be a crazy show. We're showcasing a lot of local Montreal people. We've got PXC, Hussein at Talib from Black Gloves, my crew, Top Notch Tracks. Everyone's going to be there. There's going to be my dude Gremlin, who we have a mixtape together, by the way. Go check that out. Direct Opposition, DaVille and Gremlin. And my dude Suspect from LaSalle too. You know, there's going to be a whole bunch of people there. It's going to be a crazy show. It's hosted by Rico Blocks. And, you know, come check it out. 1186 Crescent, September 8th. Doors open at 10 o'clock. And apart from that, my other short-term goals, I guess, would be like pushing out as much music as possible, as many videos as possible, and doing as many shows as possible, and hooking up with as many people as possible. So right now my goal is exposure. That's what it is. It's the grind. It's every day you get up and grind, rise and grind, and that's what it is right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And I guess long-term goals?
Like I mentioned before, doing a tour in Europe or the UK, or, you know, even a tour. Right now, I did a little mini tour in New York about a month ago with PXC from Park X. We went down there and we performed. It was the album release party for Block McCloud, and there was Army of the Pharaohs there. Shaheem from Wu-Tang. The doorman was Ghostface Killer's uncle. It was in Staten Island. The next was in Coney Island. So we did a little, I guess it was a mini tour. It was 2 nights, you know, and just that feeling of touring, of like, you know, sleeping on the floor in a little crappy hotel room in Brooklyn, and like, you know, just roaming the streets, taking in the culture in New York City. I want to do that all over the world. So really my long-term goal with this would be, you know, world tours. I mean, like, I'm kind of jumping it, but I'm saying, like, this is what I really want to achieve, is world tours. And just, like I said, meeting and, you know what I mean, working with as many people as possible. But also, my real goal with this music, apart from all that success or whatever, the real goal for this music is to spread my message to young people. And, you know what I mean, to get them to try to love themselves more and each other more, and, like, spread a sense of unity throughout the world, because there's too much division, there's too much egotistical nonsense that's destroying the youth. Mm-hmm. So really, my long-term goal with my music, hopefully I can give a positive influence to the youth of today and the youth of tomorrow. So, you know, like I can do my part to make the world a better place. And you know what I mean? That's really what my goal is, apart from all the fun parts, you know what I mean? Like to really push out this message, you know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Do my part to make the world a better place, man, you know? It's all about the kids, dude.
Yeah, exactly. And educating the youth that, you know, like people shouldn't be materialistic, and people, you know, should be happy with what they have. And
exactly. And I've been saying over the past couple of months or a year or so that if this music thing doesn't really work out, what I really want to do is I want to be a teacher at CEGEP, a history teacher at CEGEP, because that's another way I can, like, you know, teach 18, 17, and 19-year-old kids. You know what I mean? Like, start thinking for yourselves. Like, this is, like, what I want to do is I want to teach history so I can just give them, like, here's the doctrine. Here's what you're meant to be taught. This is also what happened. And this is why these things happen. And this is why this was covered up. But don't believe me. Go and do your own research. Try to find things out for yourself. Because this is the only way we can really, like, win the battle against, like, the side of us that's trying to take over the other side of us, is to educate yourself. You know what I mean? Like, the educated man can't be controlled. Like, you know, that's a quote from Macaulay. Like, it's true. The educated man can never be controlled. The best thing you can do for yourself is get educated. And, like, you know what I mean? So that's really what my goal is, one way or the other, with music or otherwise. I want to be a teacher. I need to teach the kids. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's my duty.
So with your music, you kind of see yourself as a teacher figure?
I would like to be one day. Obviously, I'm a 21-year-old kid right now, so it's like, you know, I don't expect people to take me seriously right away, obviously. But if you listen to the lyrical content of my lyrics, my music, excuse me, like I've got, there's this one song, Story of a Girl, another one called Little Jimmy. You know, there's a few of them that, like, they break down stories, for example, of, you know what I mean, young people that kind of lose their way, and the negative things, the negative effects it has on their life, you know? So I'm not just going to come up here on a radio show or when I talk to people and talk about how this and that, and then go make a track about how many drugs I sell and how many guns I carry, and you know what I mean? Like, just listen to the album. It's out September 8th. There's a few tracks out there. HipHop is My Life. Who Are We? And again, it's music with a message, you know? So hopefully people will take me seriously like that, and not necessarily to be preachy, but, you know, just to drop that dope music with something to think about at the same time, you know, because this mindless music is just dumbing down our kids.
Yeah, I totally agree with your whole, I don't know how to say it, I'm trying to think of a good word, but your whole, like, I guess musical purpose, if you will, and I really, you know, that's very, you know, commendable.
Thank you. That's my aim, anyway.
So where can one find your music? Like,
right now I've got a SoundCloud, SoundCloud/DaVille514, or just search the name DaVille. I'm there. Also on YouTube, like I said, I've got the my two first music videos, my two only music videos at the time. HipHop is My Life, produced by Skybeatz and filmed by Skybeatz, and Who Are We, also produced and filmed by Skybeatz. HipHop is My Life is basically my story about my transition through music and the struggle I had with hip-hop because of what it's starting to become, you know, and also my passion for it. And Who Are We is basically it's a track about how we kind of lose ourselves chasing the false dream, you know. So it's all about, like, knowing yourself and knowing your enemy, but it's more about knowing yourself. Who are we? You know what I mean? So also the video is kind of a tribute to the student protesters. Right now I find their influence has kind of dropped, but I mean, this was going on in April and May when the conflict was at its peak, and we were going out there and protesting when they came in with the new protest law, the emergency law, which many people found you know, unconstitutional and draconian. So I took to the streets personally. I brought a little group with me, and we shot a video out there. So it's a little salute to those guys out there, because they're not doing it for themselves, they're doing it for the future. And whether or not you agree with what they stand for or whatever, you have to understand that they're doing it for the kids. They're not doing it for themselves, because by the time this whole hike takes in effect, they'll be out of school. So they're doing it for your kids, and they're basically doing it for you because it's coming out of your pockets. So at the end of the day, find out who you are, find out who they are, and find out who you're gonna fucking stand with. Because at the end of the day, the real, the real division between people, I mean, I always preach unity, but the real division between people is the ones that want to live together and the ones that want to control each other. So figure out who the fuck you are, like, you want to side with the people that try to control you, you want to side with the people that want to stand with you to fight for tomorrow. And that's what that video is all about. So yeah, SoundCloud /JDaVille514. Also, I have my fan page on Facebook. All my new stuff is coming out there. It's Facebook /JDaVille514.